Live. It's the Jimmy Doane Show. I'm Counselor Curtis. I'm here with Jimmy Doane in our respective studios. We do this twice a week these days at 4 o'clock New York time on Sunday and Wednesday right here on the Curtis Elmore Facebook channel for now as it is. We'll post a timestamp copy of this video up on YouTube, Twitter, Parler, and Gab if I get around to it, which hopefully I will. And audio, you can find us around the web, Libsyn, Apple, Google, Amazon, Spotify, SoundCloud, those places. So check us out. You can leave us a message here over on the comments section. I'll try to check it about halfway through. If you got a question, bring it. If you got a comment, whatever it is, we'll try to address it. So today is the 14th day of October 2020. What is happening? Dr. D.
What's happening? Well, the countdown is on.
What countdown?
20 days until election day.
They're down to hours. Yeah, 400 hours.
Is that what they said? What it is? Yeah, I believe that. It's really fascinating. Every day that goes by, you think it's worse than Christmas. You wait for this, and I guess as I get closer and closer, I'm going to think, God, another. How can I get through this day? And so forth. But
definitely worse than Christmas. We get nothing at the payoff there.
That's true. Well, it'll be fascinating because the polls, of course, are all over the place, and I don't want to get into it. Maybe we'll wait till get a little closer to talk about what the chances are. I have said that I believe that it would be a landslide for Trump.
Yeah.
Well, of course, a lot of people are coming out saying no. Everything's being really super close. I went through the 15 Senate races.
Everyone, schmeveryone. Who? Top men? What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
Who? 538 guy?
Yeah, right.
Who believes anything these days?
Well, that's true.
So you poll your friends, you look around, you check the Twitter, you just kind of. My general vibe of things is that the Republicans are hiding out. That they don't.
I think you're right.
And they're going to come out in droves during this. We've seen there's a couple of these crazy videos online of these voting lines.
Yes.
And I don't know. You can guess as best as anybody.
10 hours long or something. One of them was
who they're going to vote for. They go on for. What's crazy to me is, you could just mail. Why wouldn't you just mail it?
You could probably walk up to the thing and hand it to them, your ballot or whatever.
Well, there's a little bit of a issue with that, I guess. I don't know. This seems to me extraneous. And somebody was talking about this is voter suppression. This is up in Georgia.
Yeah.
And the question is, all right, so is this voting, do you have to drop it in this one box, like this between the hours of 6 and 9 or something? Or, why are all these people waiting? Here we are, it is the middle of October, and these people are waiting in what appears to be a multi-hour line.
God, look at that. It's unbelievable.
I just don't understand. That's a little confusing, except to show that people are obviously enthusiastic about voting. So
I just, that's, you're right. I don't get it myself. They said some of those lines were between 6 and 8, 10 hours long, something like that. People, who would do that? Who would stand up? I couldn't stand up for 10 hours.
Me neither.
6 hours even.
And I certainly wouldn't sit in a line to.
Well, again, here it's too easy to actually vote here in Florida. I don't know about Georgia, and of course in Texas, they had that suit where they said in this one county that was 2,500 square miles or something, you had one drop-off box.
Right. Well, that's sort of the allegation there
in
that Georgia County right there.
Okay.
This is the Stacey Abrams complaint, which is, look, it's voter suppression. If you can't get to the one drop box, if you got to travel 10 miles or more,
But look, it's 20 days until the election.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Are you kidding me? If I stand there in that line, I'd say, excuse me, I'm going to go home. Obviously, we're talking about early voting. Got to come back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, and then you're in there for 30 minutes and you're out of there.
Maybe, yeah. Or it would seem like between now and the election, there would at least be one day that there wouldn't be that long of a line. But can you come back every day? But still, I would think you can mail it in. I would think there's got to be 10 different ways to get the
Yeah, a lot of it, of course, I know that. It's going to be kind of interesting because all the states are different. Here in Florida, at least, it's easy speasy. I mean, they send you, you call them up, literally, you give them your address, they send you the complete ballot with all the stuff and a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Mm-hmm.
You have to walk all the way out to your mailbox to mail it back to them.
Yeah.
So, and then you can go online to Vote America or whatever the hell the website is, and it'll tell you on there, has it been received, has it been processed, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. I forget what it's called.
Well, that's good. I still think it seems to me to be we're operating in 1990s technology in terms of the voting at the latest.
Yeah, you're all for doing it on your iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the big problem? If you can bank on your iPhone, how can it be unsecure to vote? If every single day I can log on as many times as I feel like it to my bank and transfer hundreds of thousands of dollars around if I want to, if I have that much, then how can it be unsecure to cast a set of votes, 10 or 20 votes, that are going to remain the same in the same database, aren't going to change, all they are is votes. All you have to do is count them and verify them, and I don't understand why that can't be done with an iPhone. That seems to me like somebody should come up with an app, a vote testing app, so that next election we at least test it out and see if it works.
Well, and of course it wouldn't be the only way by a long shot. I mean, you could do it on any computer, or you could still do the paper. You can still walk in and
right. All you do is expand it.
Yeah, you're expanding, right? You're expanding because I can tell you, like right now, let's face it, not everybody has an iPhone, but the nice thing about what are you talking about? Who doesn't? No, the thing about the iPhone that's great, of course, is it can touch. I vote for this, I vote for that, and so forth. And I'm looking at Mrs. Jimmy.
Can send you a little message that says, "Are you sure you really?
Yeah.
No. Do you really want to vote for this thing?"
Yeah. Right, or it does.
It gives you a little shock if you push the.
Yeah, right. Yeah, or you vote for Trump and it slips to Biden.
That's right.
Like the Simpsons.
Well, it immediately starts to dial the authorities.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. Again, we only have to wait another 3 weeks, and we'll have to see what happens. And of course, there's some other things that involve on this. One thing, real quick, before we get to the justice hearings, which is kind of stupid. For those of you who are worried about this election and are thinking about getting out of Dodge, and not renouncing your citizenship necessarily, but go live in another country.
Well, there's always a cadre of I'm going to Canada people.
Well, there's a problem.
Okay.
And you got until November 1st to get your citizenship in Cyprus. For $2 million. If you make an investment if you buy $2 million worth of real estate in Cyprus, you automatically
you're in.
Yeah, you're in. And they've decided
that's a pricey one.
Well, they said there's too many rich people, swamping going over there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look, seriously, $2 million. When you think about it, if you're getting ready to leave this country, there's a lot of people that got $2 million in assets. I mean, you think about it.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm thinking about. Well, the question is, what are you comparing it to? I mean, it doesn't cost you $50 to go to Panama or something.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, but I don't think you can get citizenship down there.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Well, yeah. There's a list. I mean, you can Google.
I did, and there's a list of about 5 or 6 places where it's relatively. A couple of them are like 100 or 200,000.
Yeah.
Investment.
Yeah, some of them you got to buy properties.
Right.
Some of them you got to pay a fee.
And some of them, or you can open up a business.
Right.
And I doubt if it could be an online business, but I mean, I think you have to have
as long as you're paying taxes.
Well, that's right. But I guess if you decide to go and open up an orange stand or something like
that's
that,
right.
Lemonade.
That's right.
50 cents, whatever.
I'm a brothel.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, $2 million. So anyway, the Cypriot program, however, is set to be scrapped on November 1st. So I just wanted to alert people.
Yeah, well, Cyprus seems to be one of those places that's strategically located to gather rich people from that area, from various
Think
places.
about it. Cyprus isn't it divided in half between the Turks and the Greeks? Anyway, I think something like that. And I mean, Greek land is not too bad. You get there's lots
But
of
if the
stuff.
mainland sucks...
Well, that may be, but you got like 1,000 islands there that you can go to.
Yeah, but you want to go to a substantial island.
Okay.
That's sort of the thing to do. If you're in Italy, you go to Sicily. If you're in China, you go to Taiwan.
Yeah.
It's
Of course, that's another thing that's coming up. But they don't know if they're going to...
Europe, you go to England.
Yeah.
And if you're in England, you go to Ireland.
Yes, that's right. Thank you so much for that. Okay, now we're on to the hearings, which are going on as we speak. I think they're still going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading I didn't watch it. I mean, who could stand to watch all that bloviating?
Yeah, no, well, it's an eye gouger for sure.
I mean, honest to God. And apparently, on Tuesday, it was like 10 hours or something.
Ugh.
They had some breaks, I think.
I
But
hope so.
like 10 hours, I'm sitting there thinking, who the hell could stand it 10 hours? And when you realize
that's part
that there
of
were
why they do it like that.
I know. Well, when you realize also a couple things. First of all, she remained totally 100% calm during the whole thing, and the bloviators, they had 30 minutes. They had each of them on Tuesday. I think the senators had 30 minutes, and they spent 29 minutes talking about what they believed, and maybe asked a question.
And that was kind of funny. I tuned in to watch the Kamala Harris question.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and literally, she speaks for 10 minutes before she asks the first question.
Okay. But apparently a lot of them did that.
I guess so.
Apparently that was the way it goes. You get to pontificate. It's for the folks back home.
Obviously. I mean, 10 minutes. And it was a very well-written speech. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
Whoever wrote it, I mean, it was point by point, structurally organized. Is perfect. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then I'll tell you what I told you. It was perfectly done. And she read it. I mean, you could clearly, she was turning pages and stuff.
Right.
But 10 minutes before she got to the first question. And then the first question, this is hilarious. The first question was something about timing, about when Miss Barrett was nominated to the appeals court. And she couldn't answer because she didn't know the other half of the timing question, which is when some article was released. And so Kamala was like, "Oh, I got that right here," and then just answered it for her. So the first question wasn't even a real question.
Yeah. Well, they did. They also got her on the First Amendment.
What do you mean they got her?
They said, "What are the five?" Somebody asked us a question. They said, "What are the five things
protected
in the First Amendment?"
Right.
She got through about 3 of them, and she says, "Yeah, I don't know. I forget the other 2."
Really?
Oh yeah. And they
Barrett?
Yeah. That was it was whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Let me tell you, how many people seriously? Now I realize judge and everything like that. But still,
you don't go through the First Amendment too often. But
no,
I mean,
it's 5 things, and
assembly, speech, religion, press. There, I got 4.
okay. Well, and you're an attorney, so
Right.
Excuse me. Yeah. What do you know? Anyway.
Redress of grievances.
Okay.
I bet you that's.
So anyway, what she did have to do was, in one of her comments, she used the phrase "sexual preference."
Oh yeah, this was interesting.
This is a big deal. I have no agenda, and I do want to be clear that I have never discriminated on the basis of sexual preference, and I would not ever discriminate on the basis of sexual preference. Like racism, I think discrimination is abhorrent, she said about the landmark, and I didn't know this, the landmark 2015 Supreme Court ruling in Obergefell versus Hodges. I don't know what that was. Not that it matters. But landmark, so I should know probably. But anyway, the words apparently sexual preference are, people just jumped all over her because if they said it's not a preference, it's LGBTQ people said, this is not a preference, it's what you are.
Right.
And so Senator, somebody from Hawaii, I guess, she said, criticized Barrett's comment during her questioning
That's
time.
Hirono, Maisie Hirono.
Yeah, right, that's the one. Sexual preference is an offensive and outdated term. It is used by anti-LGBTQ/XYZ activists to suggest that sexual orientation is a choice. It is not, Hirono says. Sexual orientation is a key part of a person's sexual orientation is a key part of a person's identity. And so what Barrett did was she apologized.
Yeah.
okay, one of those. There's always the class that says you don't ever apologize, but she did. She suggested, I didn't realize that was offensive. And
Right.
of course, that makes perfect sense. What do you know? Who the hell would know? I think it's only become offensive in the last couple of years, a year or two, 3.
Yeah, I mean, it must have, because that seems to go contrary to what at least one school of thought was, which is that you can become whatever you want. But
Well,
I guess
right.
what they're saying is that you can't become whatever you want. You can just realize whatever you want.
Well, of course, I look at
Okay,
this.
sure.
A lot of these people
Go
are
ahead.
saying about this preference business has all to do with the pronouns as well. I don't
Yeah.
think they're talking about that here.
Well, but it's along the same lines,
I mean, you just sit there and you start to come up
That's a little different.
the idea is a little bit different. Anyway, she said, if I did, meaning if I did offend anybody, I greatly apologize. So,
Look, no, you didn't, because you're talking to adults, and adults realize that words are inoffensive.
So what's interesting though, apparently, at least on the first 2 days, we haven't heard anything about today, but they tried everything they could and haven't got anything yet. She dodged all the bullets.
Yeah, I mean they didn't. They took it easy on her for the most part. I mean she's got great shields.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah,
What
right.
are you going to say?
Well, it's interesting you should mention that because I was listening to Rush today for a few minutes, and he said, "Don't be surprised if they pull something at the last minute up on some sexual advance thing or
Yeah, well, we've been talking about that.
yeah,
And of course, they asked her to hold up her notes. You saw.
Yeah.
You saw what was on the notepad.
no, I didn't. What was it?
Oh, you didn't. Oh, it was,
Yeah, right.
what? No, that's what was on there. It was,
Yeah, I know the Jimmy Doane show. That's
Yeah,
right, of
that's
course. We knew that, and
Yeah.
that's going to be disqualification right there. Yeah, that's exactly right. No, it's that's great. Good man. Okay, it wasn't Photoshop there. That was real.
What?
No, come on. That's crazy talk. No, but it's somebody said, and I thought to myself, if they pull out something like a college reunion or something, or
Yeah.
something from her 12th grade, something or another,
right.
and something like that, and you can sit there and think,
She raped a choir.
right, exactly, yeah. And I'm sitting there thinking, who on this planet would believe anything like that? I mean, you talk about last minute, you talk about a surprise, you talk about something that this is the
Believe? Who's talking about believe? This
Yeah,
is just a
no.
matter of raising a little controversy. But they have to find a sacrificial lamb. Look, they blew a lot.
good point, sacrificial lamb. I like that.
They blew a lot of their weapons when they did the Kavanaugh hearing.
Right, exactly.
And they took some heat. And Kamala was right there at the forefront. I mean, she was blazing off the guns right in his face. Now, here's the question. Are you going to go in there if you legitimately think that Miss Barrett is a
Whatever she
respectable
is.
person?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think she's respectable, are you going to go in there and trash her? I mean, for the political thing like that,
Yeah.
you gotta. That's some dirty politics.
No. What? Wait, well, I'm sorry. We talk about the clean politics versus the dirty politics?
That's right. That's right. Well, it's almost a personal thing, and this is somebody that they're going to run into in Washington over the decades potentially. I mean, she's going on the court.
Yeah, well,
and
that's the other thing. I,
unless she
mean,
gets
I
hit by
think
a
today's
car.
the last day.
Okay.
And the idea was, at least what Rush was saying, is they're going to try and drag something up and say, "Well, we have to hear some more on this."
I don't think they got.
I don't think so either. I don't think. I think it's basically all over. And I say it's all over, but the shouting. There's still a lot of shouting going on. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
did hear. I did
Well,
hear.
it's not over because they're going to use this as an excuse to do the court packing.
Yeah.
I
Well.
mean, this is going to be they put somebody on, so we're going to put somebody on.
Yeah. Right. Of course, and that's right, because the deal is that filling a vacancy is court packing.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What,
No, I know. That's just crazy. They've been doing some crazy. I'm gonna use the term gaslighting, even though it's not exactly gaslighting. I mean, gaslighting is trying to make the other person think they're insane, which is a little bit different. But what this is sort of calculated, multi-layered misdirection through misrepresentation. and mischaracterization of things. And I mean, it's not court packing to fill a vacancy.
No.
It's not illegal. It's not inappropriate. It's not in any way anything other than what is literally the design.
Well, here's the deal. What would have happened if Trump had nominated a commie liberal person?
Right.
Is that court packing?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's because you know what they think, and of course, what they're dragging out all of the red herrings about. Okay, now Roe's gone, guns are gone, you know, blah blah blah. They drag out all the scary shit that the Trump, and of course, what the one thing that she does admit to, which is great, and that is, you know, your job is to make the laws. I don't do that. I mean, seriously, what I do is I have nothing to do with making the laws. I interpret what you've done.
Yeah, I mean, she comes across as an originalist.
Absolutely, and that's great.
Kind of a strict constitutionalist, and that is refreshing, because we need.
Well, you know, Scalia was her mentor, so, and I know that you've said, and we've all said this. You never can tell once they get their lifetime change, and of course, you got to ask yourself this: what happens in 10 years? Say, things change, and maybe you never know that opinions, certain people that are some way, because of, as somebody once said, all the justices read the morning newspaper also.
Right.
And so you could see dramatic changes in this country.
Well, like you said, she could change in 10 years' time.
You're right. Or 20.
Right, exactly.
Whoever. I won't be here, so that's fine.
Hey, you never know. You could be a computer. You could be a computer chip at that point. That's right.
Yeah. we should hope for so much.
So, well, we'll see. I think she'll get on there. I don't think anybody has anything to worry about. She's not going to do anything crazy with Roe. The Roe case it's not going to be substantially changed. It's just not.
No, they're worried about ACA.
I mean, they did it
too.
already once, but
Healthcare.
yes, and that's in some jeopardy, I would say.
Sure.
From the rulings. But it was
20 million people going to come up lose their health care.
Well, look, just trust in the market. If 20 million people need health care, somebody's going to provide 20 million people with health care.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. Pre-existing conditions aren't going to get covered because that's not what the universe does, except for charity. So.
You mean we say previous? Well, everybody's talking about they're going to maintain. They're going to keep the previous.
I know they keep talking about that's the stupidest thing ever.
It is.
It can't work.
No.
You can't have insurance for a causality that's already taken place.
You can't. Well,
I mean, you can, but you're going to lose money.
Yeah.
Constantly.
I was thinking about that for my fire insurance.
Yeah, right.
Or my automobile insurance. I'm waiting till I have a crash.
That's right. Why not?
Then I'll get the insurance. Hey,
who would ever
at
get
least
it?
my phone is still working.
It's all right. It totally ignores the entire reality of what insurance
of the market.
is.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Look, if you have a pre-existing condition, I am sorry, but you are at the mercy of charity. That's just where you're, and you are anyway. If you're expecting the government to do it for you, that's just government charity,
right.
Except it's just forced.
Yeah.
Which is not charity, because if you take the money from somebody and give it to charity, that's not charity. It's charity to the person who's getting it, but it's not charity in the grand scheme.
Well, the problem with the government, of course, is I've always said if you take the Queen's shilling, you do the Queen's bidding.
Well, that's another layer of trouble.
Yeah,
packed onto the top of it.
If you're beholden to that kind of thing, I mean, it's like Social Security. If everybody decided to cut Social Security. Oh, I did see, by the way, that next year my Social Security check is going to go up, cost of living by 1.3%. Whoo!
Oh, you're killing it.
Yeah, I'm killing it. I'm telling you, that's like dollars. That's more than
single digits.
Single digits
dollars.
Worth of dollars. There's no question about it.
Well, Trump said he wasn't going to cut Social Security as long as he's in office.
Yeah. Well, again, it doesn't matter because inflation cuts it anyway. This idea that they got a 1.3%, 1.3% COA, cost of living allowance, COLA, is a joke. Because we're just
doesn't account for
anything. It doesn't account for any. Maybe your gas price has gone down a little bit, but basically everything's.
Yeah, the target for inflation is higher than that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
All right. What do you got? What else you got?
Okay. Apparently, there's a big deal the election again, remember now, is in 20 days.
Okay.
And the other thing that has to do, of course, with what's her name being on the thing is, what if it goes to the Supreme Court?
What? Oh, Amy Barrett being
Amy, what happened?
Oh, yeah.
What happens if it goes to the Supreme Court, as it did in 20?
So what's the problem?
Well, if
She just got appointed. You think she's going to feel some fealty?
Well, that's what they're all panicky about. They're saying she should recuse herself.
Yeah. Well, so what? And so should Kavanaugh and
Right.
all the justices he appointed.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Should
Now,
recuse
look,
themselves.
they don't need. Nobody needs to be recused. Look, judges do a good job of separating themselves out from the.
She's made it pretty clear that she's good on that too. I think she
Yeah, man,
she
she-
said that about 20 different ways.
Yeah,
And of
like
course,
that's just an attempt. That's just like a collateral attack on the. Oh, we're gonna get our. Like you said, we'd like all the judges who like Trump raise their hand. Okay, we'd like you to recuse themselves.
well, it is a very, I suppose, it's a somewhat possibility that it could go up to the Supreme Court. I would hope it wouldn't.
Oh, what? I mean, there's lots of possibilities for
Really?
the Supreme
I mean,
Court being
I
involved.
can't.
in
I
stuff
can't
that-
believe that after the 2020, after the the 2000 debacle, that they would even deign to hear it. Not my problem. Look, it's the state's problem.
Because of the 2000 debacle that they would deign to hear it. That they set some precedent in 2000. They opened a freaking Pandora's box.
Well,
there.
they can close it, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you're right, and they should. They should say we're not going to hear. But look, we're talking about such an incredible hypothetical here. We don't even know what we're talking about. Like, I mean, are you talking about a conflict between states or interstate or what? I mean, what? So, or intrastate. I mean, there's all kinds of.
Oh yeah.
So-
well, you do have. It's going to be kind of interesting because you do have. I was reading this thing that there are, I don't know, 10 now. There are now 10 battleground states that they call them.
Whatever. I still
Too
think.
close to call, all that kind of stuff. Biden's ahead. Is he still going to go hide out?
Look. You and I think agree. Nothing has changed my mind for the last month or so.
Yeah.
I feel like there's an underground swell for Trump, and that he's going to crush so hard on election night that they're not even going to need to wait for the absentee ballots and the mail.
I think you're right. Well, the thing I thought about would be kind of a fun billboard to put up would be vote Biden Kamala, and you have a little picture of Biden and a big picture of Kamala on the
Yeah,
billboard.
well, there have been some things like that, like when they did the picture of the two of them. He stood behind her.
Mm-hmm.
She's out front. Now she's the shorter and woman, and that's the more natural pose. So you can't read too much into it.
Well, again, of course, if she's in front of him, he can smell her hair. Okay. What? Low blow? Come on. Too soon? What?
Yeah, it's like so. But okay, now I did see there was somebody did an online poll, the Twitter thing on my Twitter feed, which is mostly libertarians, and somebody said, "Why do you like Trump?" And the most liked answer with 700 likes was, "He's not the socialist.
Right.
He loves freedom." And freedom was another answer that came up over and over and over and over again. The people, now this is my Twitter feed again, but people are saying that they like Trump because he's anti-swamp, because he's an outsider still and is not the socialist. I still believe firmly that the majority of the Democratic Party is more capitalist than socialist.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
the majority of them are. I think they're obviously all of the socialists are in the Democratic Party, or most of them are in the Democratic Party. But I think that the Democrats recognize the benefits of capitalism. They're everywhere. It's too obvious. And yeah, socialism is very enticing. It's very attractive. It looks great in theory. The promises are awesome, but I think so many Democrats are pro-capitalism that Joe Biden and Kamala are scary to them. I mean, all you have to be... I mean, they do not reject Bernie's socialist agenda stuff. They do not reject the Green New Deal firmly enough to make people feel secure about the concept that they're not going to shut down thousands of jobs in gas or oil or whatever. And so, I mean, and those types of, I mean, the ideas that are floated by the socialist left are country destroying type of ideas.
Well, the thing about them, they are absolutely that. I saw where at least several people in other countries as well said we're going to be 100% wind or solar.
Right.
By by 2030 or 2030.
Right, that was UK.
Yeah,
Right.
and I'm going like, were you crazy?
Right.
I mean, it isn't going to happen. Number one.
Right.
No can do. In California, we're going to be all electric. No more. Only electric cars after 2030.
Well, that's so far away. That could be, but I get your point. I mean, crazy projections that are not going to come to fruition. It's just not.
It can't happen. It can't, as you say, without destroying the entire economy.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things we're getting a hint as what a destroyed economy looks like right now, with this COVID business.
Well, the lockdowns. I mean, that's a whole different.
I know it's a whole different thing. Well, let me go back here to the election coming up. Most national polls have the former vice president maintaining a lead, even in red-leading battleground states like Arizona and Florida. He's up by 7 percentage points here, and so forth. 10-point lead nationally. Biden has a 10-point lead, according to the Real Clear Politics average. The interesting thing is that the headline was Biden tries to run down the clock. So when you look at the fact that Trump is regularly going out almost every day and having 15 and 20,000 people rally.
He seems to have beaten the COVID thing, I guess.
Oh yeah, no question. And there was another one person that and that's the headline. He was at this thing where there was 500 or 1,000 people, maybe more than that, 1,500, 2,000 people, and one person tested for COVID out of that group.
Oh yeah, I saw where they were like, well, we traced 16 people back to a Trump rally, and I'm like, 16? Like, first of all, that sample size is so small.
Yeah.
You're really going to call that science? And then second of all, it was something in September. So you're really going to isolate all the places and things that they've been since September?
Yeah.
A whole month? All the different ways they could have come in contact with it?
Yeah.
And they're gonna, oh no, they were all at this one rally. 16 people were at this rally. I'm thinking, the things that pass for science these days.
Yeah, I know. And again, well, anyway, he's almost every day now going to these huge rallies. Trump is.
Yeah.
And of course you saw the one where Joe had one, and there was like one person that showed up.
Well, I don't know that those photos that we see of the Joe rallies are real.
They showed a room where he was supposed to have a rally, and they had these circles on the floor.
Yeah, but the way that the photo is posed, it's obviously made to look like nobody's there.
Okay.
The middle of the picture is the empty chair. If it was done by a Biden photographer, at least they would have the person sitting in a chair in the middle of the frame.
Well, but the point is that the reason it wouldn't be done by a Biden photographer is because there's nobody there.
Well, I mean, and then they're going to let bootleg photographs. I don't know. It just didn't seem.
I mean, I would think that the media people would want to show that he's popular.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Eleanor Cliff says he's out doing rallies and stuff.
Really?
He apparently did a little train stop thing.
Yeah, I did hear something about that. Yeah, I did. I didn't look at it.
You can't be gaffing too hard, or we'd be seeing the gaffes.
That's true. So anyway, the other thing that they talk here, we just talked about this before, in Texas and Georgia saw lines of wait times of over 11 hours for in-person voting. I mean, who is going to wait 11? I don't care who you are. You can't do it. You'd have
to. No. I mean, you can do it especially if you're young or if you're
that's right.
migrant worker.
And
something.
I saw the lines. Of course, they're wearing the masks and everything. They're outside. Oh yeah. It's interesting. 10.6 million voters across the country have already cast. Now, this is as of a couple of days. Have already cast their ballots as of Tuesday morning.
Okay.
As of yesterday morning, according to data from the U.S. election process. By comparison, in 2016, 1.4 million had cast ballots by this in advance of the election. 1.4 million 4 years ago, 16 million this year.
Okay.
So apparently, a lot of people are taking to heart, as I did, to call up and have the bat. You know, why should I go down and have to wear a mask somewhere and
when I can just get it delivered by
get
mail.
it delivered by mail, right, and everything, and then I can check online to see if they got it.
Well, you can't check to see if they got the correct vote, though.
No, but this is Gainesville. You know what the hell are they going to do? Give me a break. I'm not too worried about that.
Got it right here, Mr.
Yeah,
Doane.
Yeah, got it right here. Yeah, you Biden supporter, eh?
That's right. Hey, looks like you were straight D right down the line.
That's it. I did think it was kind of interesting in the envelope that they sent me. They even had, you could peel off and have an I voted sticker.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, you had a little I voted sticker you can put on if you wanted to. So, you know, like who cares?
Voting.
Yeah. Well, I don't normally. I had to do it this time because of Ms. Jim.
Well, look, it's important to vote because there are referendums and
Right.
constitutional amendments.
We had a bunch of referendums. I mean, and it's interesting because our local Pravda here is all for the government doing everything.
Yeah.
And I had to vote against a lot of those things.
They're crazy. They want. I mean, it's crazy, but the restrictions can be hammered out pretty well against the locals using the Constitution. So
Yeah, well, some of it can, but I mean, they're still over the top as far as closing down places. I think we talked about this
yeah,
last
well, that's just not legal. I'm telling you, people are just not availing themselves of their
They
legal
said
rights.
that they still would fine the store owners if they didn't abide by the mask business. Now, they did indicate that they were not allowed to hand out citations to the public who did not abide the rules of the face covering.
Well,
but they're prepared to hand out upwards of $150 fines to the store owners.
I don't understand, as I've been saying for months now, why more businesses, especially the ones who are in jeopardy from these lockdowns, are not availing themselves of some legal protection.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe they are. I'm just not hearing about it. Maybe it's just that it's working its way through the courts, and
it'd have to be because one of the things you can't do these days is you can't go down and complain like this time last year when they had a county commissioner, city commission meeting. You go down there and complain. You got 3 minutes. Yeah, okay, only 3 minutes. But you could down there with your buddies.
Well, you can still file a lawsuit.
I know you can still file a lawsuit, but it's not the same as going down there, as far as I'm concerned, and hollering at them.
I think it's way better. I mean, to me,
maybe.
You holler at them, they just la 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 la.
Well, you're right.
But you file
You're
a lawsuit, they got to do something. So,
okay, moving along here.
what you got?
The iPhone 12 was announced yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
What happened to the 11?
Don't you still go get them? I guess.
I never even heard of it.
Oh yeah, there was 11s. There was a couple of them. Yeah, sure.
Okay, because there was the 10, which was the X or whatever.
No, I got an 11.
Oh, you did?
I have an 11. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I forget what it is, but it's got the 3 little camera things on it and
The
everything.
new one's supposed to have a super zoom camera, huh?
Something, and it's supposed to do low light. It's thinner and smaller and everything else. But there's 4 of them.
4 new
Yeah,
iPhone
and they
12s?
start at like 700 and go up
Wow.
from there. Yeah, but they're going to be shipped without a charger or
$50.
or earbuds.
$50.
Well, what they said was it's because the packaging can be smaller.
Oh yeah, just
And
because of the package.
so we're saving on e-waste.
Yeah,
And most everybody's got a charger and earbuds anyway.
That's
and
right.
all this stuff's Bluetooth. Who doesn't have a Bluetooth headset?
that's it. For an extra $25, we'll send it without the packaging.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, So anyway, I did think it was kind of interesting. Apple has always been ahead of the curve on stuff like this. I mean, I remember when
I gotta hand it to Tim Cook. I didn't think that he was going to be able to pick up the ball after.
well, apparently he did, because this is a rather substantial improvement. The 12 is in some areas.
Well, if they do a zoom camera that really is awesome.
Well, they've got has new low light capabilities. It's thinner and smaller, but the picture they have one that's a plus model that's 6.9 inches or something like that
Right.
across the face, and it's got
just more and more sensitive all the time.
Right. Well, whatever it is, apparently they've got a way now where, I won't call it pitch black, but it does, in low light, it compensates for everything. So, but anyway, no charger and no earbuds, which I thought was kind of interesting. And what they said is the packaging is going to be smaller, and they said we're going to save, I forgot exactly what it was, but 75
Well, I will
billion.
say this. I mean, everybody who bought an iPhone. I mean, look, if you went around to the households in America, there'd be an extra pair of iPhone earbuds in about 50% of households.
Oh, not only that, there's an extra. Well, yeah, I mean, and I am one of these people that, in other words, I've still got chargers
Right.
in the box.
Yeah.
So I never took them out of the box.
Right, and that's what they must have figured. They must have
Yeah.
got enough of those because I did the same thing. I've got 3 or 4 earbud charger combos
Yeah.
in boxes.
Yeah. And but of course, what I did was, I still don't like their earbuds.
I don't either.
Now
Never used it.
they did reduce the price on the Beats, on the
Whatever.
Beats. Well, it's supposed to be really really good. It's like 50. I think it's down to under $100, maybe $50 or $60 for those earphones. But again, you know, the way I look at it is I've got the Bluetooth, so you got no cable,
Yeah.
which is also good. So anyway, they talk about it. This is all about the environment. And Sarah, I love this part here. Sarah Bedard, a sustainability researcher at the University of Florida, agrees. Apple analysis is based on the impression that some users really don't need chargers and earpods because they already have them. Some users don't, and so forth. And now, of course, if they have to order them, that's going to be the packaging back up again. But as you say, who's going to order them from Apple anyway? I mean, chargers
You
are
go to
something.
7-Eleven these days.
Exactly. I mean, seriously, I've got a little charger thing that sits there, and it'll do like 8 things at a time or something.
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff. So I don't need all that stuff. I thought it was kind of interesting. Okay, the next thing I've got has to do a little. Let me just see here. Okay, I'm getting here towards the end of my stuff, so
Okay.
I can't show. Did you see the video of the Southwest Airlines booting that guy off for eating peanuts and pulling his mask down?
No.
There was a substantial video, and it was taken by an activist lady, a conservative activist. I don't know what she is. She's filmed by conservative activist and attorney Chris Ann Hall. And what happened was they gave him peanuts. And so he pulled his mask down to eat the peanuts, and they came by and they said, "You have to pull your mask up." And he said, this is before they took off. And he said, "What are you talking about? I'm eating here." And it was, "All right, what is what is the rule here? Can you tell me what the rule is? How am I supposed to do this?" And they just
How
said,
about
"Look,
this
it
for
is."
a rule, buddy?
Well, the
Bam!
problem was
Uh-huh.
the mask was a Trump mask, and he was wearing a MAGA hat. So you can, yeah, okay, maybe not, maybe, who knows?
But maybe.
And of course it was obvious on his face. There were a lot of other people in there saying, "Wait a minute, I want to know what the rule is too. If you're going to serve me food, can I eat the food?
Yeah.
You know, what? Can you tell me definitively what the rule is?" And they couldn't, and they escorted him off the plane.
Wow.
They got him. He didn't put
Well-
up a fight, but and it was all on video.
Yeah.
And it was just, people were just asking.
Anecdotal still. But.
I know it's anecdotal, but to me, I'm trying to think. What they said was he didn't perform
You think
adequately in the line getting on the plane or something. He thought it might be a troublemaker. I don't know what it was, but
Racism is what it was.
well, he was a black guy too.
See?
Yeah, I mean, MAGA hat, black guy. Oh my God. So anyway, escorted him off the plane. We'll put you on a later flight or something. The whole thing, when you saw the video, and of course, I realize there's a lot more to it.
Look,
than
it's
that.
not like anybody's going crazy with these masks or anything.
Well, the question is, here's the steward or the guy on the air, the steward guy. What do you call him? The helper, the attendant, whatever. I mean, he's sitting there, and you wonder what happened to common sense. The guy is eating peanuts,
Right.
and he's pulled the mask down below his chin to eat the peanuts, and now they're saying you don't have your mask on.
Right.
So it's,
Well, that calls for another look at Sweden then here. This
ooh, a babe.
Yeah, this babe right here did a nice little video of herself, and she's about to get on a train. I don't know, I guess they have above ground trains
Yeah.
in Stockholm.
Well, they have what they call them. They're local trains. Yeah.
Okay, so this is one. and you can see people acting normally, and I don't see any masks. And as you'll see here, as she gets onto the train, she walks through the train, and there's nobody even pretending to care about COVID.
Right.
I mean, not even these people, nobody's even thinking about it. I mean, they're right next to each other, they're on top of each other, there's no masks anywhere. Even there's going to be an old guy coming up here on the left, no mask on the old guy here, that guy, nothing. So, so this is 10 million people have gone completely insane. Oh, that woman had a mask. That's right. The very last somebody had something.
She's a foreigner.
An American.
She's part of an American.
That's right.
That's right.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So, and we saw last week. I still can't believe that prom where they made the kids.
Oh, dance back to back.
Yeah. I mean,
why would you ever? I mean, you hear women. You have to understand, it's your senior year prom, okay?
This is
you are in the
most
senior year.
harebrained. This is some
You are
harebrained.
raging hormones, okay? Raging hormones, and you have to twerk each other.
Can you imagine the meeting, the PTA meeting where the person? Well, why don't we just have the kids go back to back?
Okay.
That's a good idea. Yeah, Janet, I like that idea.
All in favor.
That's right. Karen, do you like that idea? I like that idea. Oh, God. And somehow they're like, what? And somebody was like, what do you mean? What the hell are you talking about? And then they did it anyway.
Yeah. Well, again,
and the kids are doing it.
Yeah, they're doing it. That's right. Well, back to back. That's going to be an interesting way. Let's see. That's not the missionary position. What position is that?
I mean, the Kama Sutra doesn't even have that.
No, that's to say. That's they got 400 ways, but that ain't one of them. Okay, now it's interesting. I thought that there was a Republican, Representative Doug Collins, to dovetail onto Nancy Pelosi's setting up of the board for
right
to
the 25th Amendment.
25th Amendment. Well, this guy has introduced a resolution to remove Nancy Pelosi.
Really?
For lack of wait a minute.
They can impeach. They can always impeach somebody if they.
Well, for lack of mental fitness. And so let me just see here.
It just gets tossed around so much, man. I mean,
for lack of mental fitness, and Speaker Nancy Pelosi's unwillingness to abide by the Constitution, combined with her recent actions, call into question her own mental fitness.
She did something I didn't like. She must be insane.
She demanded removal from the line of succession, and he said Pelosi ripping up President's State of the Union speech in February on the stage before the American people, and she visited a shuttered hair salon in San Francisco where she relieved a blowout without wearing a mask in violation of the laws. So and then cast the blame.
That's it. That's all you got.
Well, that's right. That's what I'm looking at. Is that all you got? But I thought it was
the
interesting.
mental health. Well, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it could have very well been tongue in cheek. It's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we're talking about mental health here, hey.
Right. Well, and it does illustrate the concept that nobody can pass a mental health exam. I mean, the first question they ask you is, have you ever used the word shrink as a noun?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody could possibly get through that. So when they start tossing that around as a qualification for something, I have to shudder.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. There's a new job, which unfortunately we don't have yet. We should have it. It's a initial influencer public offering. This Italian Instagram star, her name is Chiara Ferragni. No, Ferragni. It's not Ferragni.
Okay.
Ferragni, whatever, wants to take herself public. She's going to have an IPO on herself. And
good luck with that.
Well, Italian Instagram star, whatever that means, I don't know. But anyway, Chiara Ferragni looks to be the first professional influencer to try and out and smash and grab job on the public markets by going public through an IPO. Now it turns out that when they did how much she gets already,
she's going down for fraud. Go ahead.
She has 21 million Instagram followers.
Nice.
I mean, seriously. So she is an influencer. And apparently she's got some.
If she's got products, if she's got a business plan.
She does. She does influence back, and she has signed partnerships with companies like Dior and Lancome. You know, and she already makes like.
How old is she?
She's let's see, how old is she? She's in her 20s.
Oh, she's a little bit over the top there.
Well, no, she's been around for a while. I'm guessing from seeing her, I guess she's mid-20s. I don't know. Anyway, but based on the fact,
the TikTok, aging out of the TikTok crowd.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right.
Although I say that, keep going.
Well, it says that brands spent $6.5 billion on influencer marketing in 2019.
Nice.
Almost 4 times what it was in 2016.
It's amazing how prevalent. This is a little shout out to America. Do you know who the ocean spray guy is?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay, so just to show you social influencing and how prevalent it is and how awesome it is, and this country is so awesome. So this guy, he's on his way to work, and his truck breaks down. So he gets out of his truck and he gets on his skateboard, and he puts on a little bit of Fleetwood Mac music, and this is him rolling down the freeway, and he's drinking, as you can see in his hand, a big thing of ocean spray here. And so this guy posted this 24-second video, okay, and he's just singing a nice little Fleetwood Mac Dream song from 1976 or whatever it is. Next thing you know, he is an internet sensation. Ocean spray has sold out everywhere.
Is that right?
Fleetwood Mac is back on the charts.
Oh my
number
gosh.
21 on the Billboard charts.
You talk about an influencer?
This guy, and then today, he's sitting at his trailer here. You can see where he lives in his little RV on some deserted road, and ocean spray shows up with this truck, and it's full of ocean spray, and they give it to him.
All right.
So this is America. Look, they got the crew, they got the sound guy there, and everything. They're trying to get his picture, and he's just like, what? I mean, he's in obviously like the poorest part of town, and this poor guy, his truck wouldn't even work for him to get to work, and he made one little video on social media. And now he's
an influencer.
Exactly. So just amazing.
Well, that is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's interesting because this girl, she's also the same kind of thing, and she figures that her IPO could be. It says she already gets 20 million euros a year from the sponsorships and so forth, and they said that the sales multiple should be about 4 times. So the valuation for her group could be around 80 million euros on an IPO.
Okay. That's nice, man.
It's a small IPO according to IPOs, but still.
Yeah. But still, for her,
80 million.
knock it out of the park.
She's very attractive, Italian.
I bet.
Milano.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it was interesting that the influencers. It is interesting because that I've seen videos of the YouTube gatherings of the YouTubers. Okay. And they all know each other, are just about. It's really amazing. Sure. I just was blown away.
Not that big of a crowd.
I mean, it's a pretty good sized crowd. I mean, it's not as big as Comic-Con, but it's pretty good sized.
Yeah. Well, no, what I mean is at the top. At the top, you know who the other people are. You know who your competition is. They've done a little research. They've clicked around and seen those people. All right, so that's all you got there? Mm-hmm. Okay. Speaking of another TikTok thing, did you see Trump's reverse TikTok sting that they did? Or it wasn't Trump's, the GOP?
No.
Did a thing. They were having an event for Trump, and did you recall when Trump did his rally, I guess it was Tulsa, that the TikTok crowd reserved a whole bunch of seats?
Okay, yeah.
And remember that? And
yeah, right.
Made it look as though a bunch more people were going to go than actually showed up, and then it was supposed to be a big letdown for Trump, and they showed him all dejected with his tie off and everything. So they were trying to do that again. And this time the GOP they saw the numbers sort of spiking in terms of the reservations, and so they put in a $5 non-refundable fee. And apparently netted $16,000 from people who reserved tickets.
Okay.
And I guess, I don't know if that's how many they reserved and didn't show up, if that was all the people or whatever, but whatever it is, they figured a market solution to the problem, which
Right.
is you just charge a non-refundable portion
Yeah.
for the reservation and you're good.
Right.
So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Whether, who knows. And speaking of entertainment stuff, did you notice all of the theaters in town shut down?
Yes. That was as of
Like last week.
last week, last
Yeah.
Thursday, I think it was. Yes,
I mean,
they're gone. Yeah, I mean,
we lost everything. It's like, what?
well, you understand there was like this one over here has 16 screens.
Yeah.
Another one has like 11. I don't know what the one over at the one out on the other side of town has.
Yeah, not too many.
in the new place. Yeah, I don't know, but that was all real
6 or
comfortable.
8, yeah.
That was all
Big,
late,
spacious, big
beautiful, spacious, everything.
recliners and everything.
Everything, right? And foam and a whole bit. And it's
What are
gone.
they going to do? Are they going to sell them off or something? I mean, are they going to bulldoze them? I mean,
It's just, to me, this is the collateral damage from this
Yeah.
from this.
these are the kinds of people that I don't understand why they didn't sue.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the kind of you had every ability to open a giant lawsuit and to try to save your company, and you just watched it go away.
it is truly amazing, and I think that the royal people or whatever who they are,
Royal Park.
it's nationwide.
Yeah.
They're closing down.
Yeah, 56 theaters or something
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's
amazing.
to me it's you look at this stuff and they say, when are you going to get back to the new normal, the old normal, or whatever it is? And at the rate things are closing down and the damage that's being done is a lot of it's permanent damage.
Another reason why Sweden sort of won the pandemics.
Yeah.
So anyway, and speaking of another big issue, Michael Moore's climate change movie, you remember that?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about that since it came out again.
Yeah, we chatted a little bit. I watched it. It was a great movie. I
Yeah.
thought it was great fun.
Yeah,
and he never denied it. He never said that wasn't
Denounced
me
it or anything. Right.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
They made one big mistake in the movie. The creators of the movie.
Did what?
Well, they had one big fallacy in the middle of the movie. They come out with their theory of why all the climate change is bad, and they're all under the belief that Thanos was under from the Avengers, which is that people eat up resources, and the more people there are, the fewer resources there are.
Yeah, I think I might have seen that again. But that was, even as I was watching it, I thought, this is not right. I mean, I knew that.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that's their big mistake that motivates them through the entire movie. If they would just realize that people on average add resources, then they wouldn't be so worried about the whole thing.
I'm not.
But I'm not either. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting, the theaters, and all that stuff. Also, there's apparently a Euro crypto on tap.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Now I tried to figure out what it was.
What do you mean? It's going to be a blockchain?
Yeah, something, but it's going to be a government-run thing, isn't it?
Apparently, by the ECB.
Yeah. I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, well, now...
Why would anybody want that? They're going to mandate it.
Something here, well,
This is going to be a,
This doesn't pass the smell test.
Look, there is going to be, as you know, you've projected a big crash, a rush into gold and Bitcoin and those kinds of things. That implies a currency crisis, and we should be on the precipice of a currency crisis because we've had fiat currency around the globe for decades now. We're ripe for it. Mm-hmm. We took ourselves off of every standard on the planet. No major currency is tethered to anything. So, of course, it's going to blow up. Mm-hmm. Just a question of when. When that happens, though, they're going to fight for it.
Of course.
And, like Cuba right now is doing a 10-to-1, some kind of 10-to-1 split.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're combining their currencies and trying to peg it to the dollar or something.
What?
Yeah.
Peg it to the dollar?
That's what I think. So
wait a minute. This is the.
Maybe I read that wrong. Maybe
I was going to say, can you imagine them pegging it to the dollar? This is the great Satan. You don't peg it to the devil.
Well, you do if they have the stable currency. If they have the world reserve currency, you do. But my point is that there's going to be money grabs for these for new currency. So I mean, the way you grab the money, it's simple. You cancel the old currency, you issue the new one, and you scrape up the stuff that doesn't make the transfer. I mean, there's just money to be made in the creation of these new cryptos and in the making of them mandatory, I would think. And also, they're so easy to manipulate. I mean, once you get the whole thing, I mean, what you do is, my guess is they're not going to do a blockchain like Bitcoin, where they have a limited number. They're going to do a digital currency that they can completely manipulate.
This I can understand. Now, see, I read the article, and one of these things is if I can't make sense out of it in 2 or 3 paragraphs,
it's probably not
wrong.
going to fly.
I mean, because
well, we'll see. I just thought it was something to sort of watch out for. So, all right, let's see if the crew, nobody chimed in except for Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Hope you had a good time. All right, right on time. Look at that. Hard to believe. Let's see. All right, this has been the Jimmy Doane Show. We thank you very much for joining us. We thank Kevin MacLeod for these cool music tracks. You can get them over at this place, creativecommons.org. And he's got lots of cool tracks. So thank you, Kevin. Also, if you feel like it, pick up a copy of this cool book. It'll help you with the whole criminal justice thing that's going on right now. If you've got some Bitcoin or Ethereum you want to get rid of, you can send it on our way.
well, even a little piece of one.
We'll take
It doesn't have to be a whole Bitcoin.
That's right. So, and remember, if it's good enough for ACB, it's good enough. So, we'll see you soon. The 17th, we'll be back. Whoops. This is it. That's what I'm looking for.
Oops.
That's what you get for live video.
Yeah.
See you soon.